Is it a good idea to pair an RTX 5070 Ti with a 1440p monitor to play the latest games? Let's find out. My full system specifications are listed in the description below if you're interested in that or any other products featured in this video. Right now, it's the best time to buy PC-related products because Amazon's Black Friday sale is now on. And take a look at that. Motherboards, power supplies, Wi-Fi routers, CPUs, GPUs, as well as other stuff. Available at a big discount. Check out the Amazon Black Friday sale at the link in the description below. That is my affiliate link, so if you enjoy what I do here on the channel, it actually directly helps me to do more projects. I appreciate your support. Now, let's get back to the video. Let's begin with the hottest new game on the market right now, Arc Raiders. It is my favorite game at the moment. I play it a lot. As you can see, we are at 1440p resolution. NVIDIA's DLAA is enabled, which means that we are using native resolution. No upscaling for now, but we'll take a look at that later on. RTX global illumination is set to dynamic high, which is one notch lower than the maximum. We'll take a look at maxed out settings later on. Everything else is set to epic, with the exception of global illumination and post-processing. Post-processing on low, yeah, I know, it looks bad, but it's not, because post-processing basically means depth of field, motion blur, bloom, flare, effects, all that unnecessary. Yeah, I don't like those effects, so I set it to low to turn them off. This is solid performance. Take a look at this. 120 plus FPS, reaching 130 from time to time. And we are using just above 5 gigabytes of VRAM. Yeah, the GPU is not fully loaded because of NVIDIA Reflex. It is very much recommended to use NVIDIA Reflex in this game because, yeah, you want this game to be as responsive as possible, because there is a PvP element to this game, which means that you still have to stay competitive if you want to stay alive. Oh, we're getting dips into 100 plus now, so yeah. There is a little bit of that FPS drop in scenes where there's a lot of foliage. So there's that. Keep that in mind, that on some maps you'll have very high FPS, on others you'll have to enjoy like 90 plus FPS consistently. But this is 1440p native resolution using NVIDIA's DLAA anti-aliasing solution. And this looks great, but we can easily increase this performance by quite a bit simply by using DLSS upscaling. I'll set DLSS to quality mode, and let's take a look what that is like. Check it out, that is a massive FPS boost. We are reaching 170, 150 plus FPS. This is good. This is very good. Extremely responsive. For example, I play this game at 90 plus FPS and it feels enjoyable, but damn, this is much better. This feels so fluid. This is a great way to enjoy the game, especially if you like to PvP, because more FPS gives you a competitive edge. The frame rate graph is not as smooth as I would have liked it to be. That said, I played this game for many hours on the 5070 Ti, and I must say that it feels smooth enough to not annoy me. I'll put it that way. It's just good enough to avoid annoying me, so don't worry about that too much. It's fine. Obviously, we can get rid of that frame rate fluctuation by limiting our frame rate at 120, for example, in this case. And as you can see, the frame rate graph is now completely flat, and the image on the screen is super smooth as a result of that. I actually recommend locking your FPS at a steady value that you know your GPU can sustain, because this is a much more pleasant experience. I'm using RivaTuner Statistics Server application to do this. I highly recommend it. It does a great job at capping FPS at any value you like. And to go back to unlimited FPS, you just set it to 0, hit enter, and voila, we're back to uncapped frame rate. Next, let's see what kind of experience we can get at native resolution maxed out graphics settings. So RTX global illumination set to dynamic epic, and we'll use epic graphics quality preset. Wow, and even when maxed out, this game is still very well optimized. And we'll have to give credit where it's due. And I'm talking about the graphics card as well, because with the 5070 Ti, you just don't have to worry about settings as much, because you can max out pretty much any game and enjoy high enough frame rates. Take a look at this, 100 plus FPS. And in some scenes it will drop to around 90 plus. I'm pretty sure, like over there in the forest where there's more foliage. But overall, this is a good experience, even with maxed out settings. Awesome, awesome. No DLSS resolution upscaling required to run this particular game on a 1440p monitor with the 5070 Ti. That's good to see. Oh, there we go. 90 FPS, as I predicted, in this forest. Let's take a look at the performance with DLSS enabled and set to quality mode. Yeah, we are always getting a huge FPS improvement by going from native resolution to DLSS quality mode. And the image quality doesn't really change in terms of like sharpness. I can't tell the difference between native and this. That's the beauty of DLSS 4. It is so good nowadays that you can just use it and not worry about it. And for those of you who want to max out your FPS for that competitive edge, here is the set of settings. RTX global illumination set to static, and let's lower the graphics all the way to low. Alright, and DLSS is set to quality mode transformer model. The game looks quite rough using the low graphics quality preset, but you can't argue with that performance. Take a look at that. Close to 300 FPS. Oh, actually 300 plus right there for a brief moment. That is insane. Wow, okay. And on this QD OLED 360Hz monitor, this looks super smooth. Amazing. And I think we are still GPU limited. Aren't we? Because we're still at around 95% GPU load. We might be hitting the ceiling, but hold on a second. Let's just lower that DLSS quality a little bit more and find out like exactly where that ceiling is. I'll set DLSS to the performance mode. Yeah, we still have some gas in the tank in terms of the CPU performance as well as the game engine capabilities. 340 plus FPS, and we're still at 90 plus GPU load. Just a reminder, because we have NVIDIA Reflex enabled, that GPU load won't be at 100 or 99% for that reason, to improve our system latency, which is much better than having high FPS on its own. But yeah, this is nice. Although, yeah, we're getting dips now in the GPU load, so we are CPU limited now. Let's see how it runs at native 1440p on the lowest settings. Still very high frame rate, above 200, 220, 215. Very nice indeed, even if you want like the crispest image possible, the most detailed, to actually, you know, see everything that's going on in the distance clearly. Yeah, you can achieve that even at native 1440p resolution using this graphics card on this monitor. Next up is a highly popular single-player game. This is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Very good game. I am going to come back to it eventually because it is highly enjoyable. I very much recommend you try it. It is one of the best games of 2025 in my opinion. We'll start with absolutely maxed out graphics, native 1440p, experimental graphics quality preset, field of view is set to 100, and we're using DLSS 4 transformer model, native AA, which means DLAA, no motion blur, no depth of field, HDR is enabled. Generally, it is a well-optimized game, but not when you're using this set of settings. I'm talking about the experimental graphics quality, of course, because it tanks the performance by quite a lot, and yeah, it doesn't really feel good. It feels a little bit choppy because the frame pacing is a little bit messed up. But we can actually improve it by doing one simple trick. I'll show it to you in just a moment. Let's just take a look at the FPS first. We're generally at around 60-ish, but as you've seen just then, we had a dip to 50 plus, which isn't ideal. And what I'm talking about is this. We need to go into manual settings configuration and lower the vegetation detail quality to ultra. This one setting makes the gameplay smoother and the FPS a little bit higher. Not significantly higher, but a little bit. But the main thing is that the FPS is not as choppy now. As you can see, there are still those swings in the FPS as we turn the camera, but they are not as horrible as before. So if you want to use the experimental graphics quality preset, then lower that vegetation quality and you'll have a better experience, smoother frame rate. And you can always increase the FPS by introducing some DLSS into the mix. Let's take a look at DLSS Quality mode performance. Yeah, we're now getting 100 plus in some scenes and 90 plus over here, with massive dips to 60 plus because of the experimental graphics quality preset. Yeah, this game doesn't run that smoothly with the experimental graphics quality enabled. That is a shame. That is a shame. But it is what it is. If you want this game to look its best, then this is it. At least it is actually very much playable and enjoyable on the 5070 Ti using this graphics settings configuration. Right, let's adjust the graphics settings a little bit. Instead of the experimental graphics quality preset, we'll use the Ultra preset, and let's go back to native resolution. The FPS is much higher now. Take a look at this, 100 plus over here, and we are getting a dip to 80 plus. 82 FPS is the lowest number I've seen just then. Yeah, this is a good high FPS experience. For a single player title at native 1440p resolution, this is a brilliant experience. And the VRAM usage is now down to just above 8 GB. Let's see what happens if we enable DLSS Quality mode. Oh, 120 plus. But in some scenes the FPS will drop to 100 plus. Not a big deal, we can still lock our FPS at 120 and enjoy the game like that, but it's not gonna be a consistent 120 experience. Okay, still, nonetheless, for a single-player game, this is an extremely high frame rate. Yeah, mostly I am enjoying my single-player games at 90 FPS nowadays. If I have a graphics card that is powerful enough, then I'll set it to 120 and just, limit the FPS at 120 for the smoothest experience possible. But 90 plus is plenty. Of course, 60 is still a great experience, but once you've tasted that 90 FPS experience, yeah, you'll want it. You'll want it all the time. At least that was the case for me. 90 FPS experience ruined me. And now, even if I have a slower graphics card or a game that is way too demanding, I'm always looking for ways to actually achieve that 90 FPS experience. I'll lower some graphics settings if I have to. Lowering DLSS quality to balanced doesn't really give us that much in terms of performance. Yeah, we're still at 120 plus over here, and it's a few more frames per second. Is it worth it? I don't think so, because on a 27-inch 1440p display, yeah, DLSS Balanced, it looks fine, but all the fine details are starting to get a little bit more blurry, so it's a softer image presentation on the screen. If you like sharp image, then you won't like using DLSS Balanced on this kind of monitor at this resolution. If you are okay with this softer image or you prefer it, then why not? Use DLSS Balanced and get more FPS. Look at that, we're still at 100 plus in this area right here. So it's not a huge improvement over DLSS Quality mode in terms of performance. Lastly, let's take a look at Battlefield 6. We are at Ultra Graphics Quality preset, native resolution using NVIDIA's DLAA, NVIDIA Reflex is enabled, and no resolution upscaling for now, but we'll take a look at that later on. Oh, and FOV is set to 100. We are getting solid performance, well above 120 FPS. Sometimes it will dip below 120, but it's not a big deal. The game removed my slide binding for some reason after an update. That is crazy. Alright, it's back on. And as you can see, the performance is brilliant even without upscaling. And the game looks beautiful. Very responsive. I think there was someone there. Yes. I haven't played for a long while. And it can be quite difficult to readjust in terms of aim, alright? But this feels responsive as heck. So good. I'm already enjoying it. Oh, we have someone over there. Ah, there are too many of them. I wonder, what will happen if we enable DLSS Quality mode? Let's go. Oh, that is a nice FPS boost. Take a look at this. We're now reaching 160 plus from time to time in some scenes, and 170 plus over here. Beautiful, beautiful. And that results in a brilliant experience. Take a look at the smoothness, at the responsiveness. Ah, it's a pleasure. And I always play this game with DLSS set to quality mode because it's very close to native resolution in terms of the visual experience. There's just no reason not to enable DLSS. Of course, this is not the absolute maximum we can squeeze out of this graphics card in terms of FPS. Yeah, it can be better. Our CPU is more powerful than the graphics card in this instance, and I'm talking about the 9800X3D that is currently sitting inside of my PC. Oh, we have enemies right here. There we go, there we go. The point is ours. Beautiful. Let's move on. It's a great gun. Oh, there's like so many over there. Oh. No, I couldn't get him. Oh, so many. Alright, that's the perfect opportunity to change the graphics settings. Let's lower the graphics to high and, well, let's go back to native resolution. We'll turn off DLSS, back to NVIDIA's DLAA native 1440p, and I'll reload the game. I quit and relaunch it to ensure that all the settings have been applied properly. The visual difference between ultra and high graphics settings is minimal. I can't see any difference with the naked eye. There's just no difference. But the FPS is higher. Take a look at this. 140 plus, native resolution. This is good stuff. Take a look at this. Let's kill this tank right here. Yes, let's freaking go. In the heat of battle. Is it gone? Nah, it managed to escape. But damn, even at native resolution, the 5070 Ti slaps. Absolutely beautiful experience out of this one. Yeah, awesome. I still have one RPG left. And there is a tank right there. So, with that, I'm out of ammo to deal with that thing. Okay, let's move on to DLSS Quality mode, shall we? DLSS Quality mode enabled. Oh my, take a look at that. We are very close to 200 FPS, actually exceeding 200 FPS in some scenes, but yeah, there are dips to 170 plus, and it will dip to 160 and 150 in the most demanding scenes, but hot damn, this feels good. Super responsive. There we go, taking care of the enemies right here on the point. Oh no, 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 no. I see another one right there. Oh, nope. I'm sure someone is over here. There we go. 1, 2, let's go. Someone's shooting me already. No. No camping. No freaking camping. Let's check up here. Oh yes, there we go. There was another one right there. Okay. This is a good experience, I think. The last thing left to check is the lowest graphics settings for the sweatiest experience possible. Let's set that to low, and let's not mess around and set DLSS to quality right away. There we go, above 200 FPS, 220, 219, 225. Insane frame rate. For a Battlefield game, yeah, this feels great. Even 1% lows are at like 150, and the game feels extra smooth, thanks to the high frame rate. Look at that CPU load. The 9000 X3D is working really hard, above 70% utilization. That is not something that you normally see, but in this game, with everything that's going on, yeah, that is still possible to witness. And we are getting dips to around 180, 170 from time to time, so that's possible. Even on low graphics, this game looks decent. Yeah, that's amazing, actually. And you can always increase the texture quality, actually, without losing any FPS, because all that requires is just video memory, and we have plenty on this graphics card. 16 gigabytes is plenty for this game. Yeah, it's a great experience, extremely fluid, If you want that competitive edge, play on low, and you'll get the maximum frame rate out of the 5070 Ti. The 5070 Ti is an easy graphics card to recommend for 1440p gaming. As you have witnessed just now, it plows through pretty much any modern game, high FPS, even at native resolution. But if you want even higher frame rates, or if you want to use higher graphics quality, then yeah, DLSS is there, and using it on a 27-inch monitor at 1440p set to DLSS Quality mode, it looks great. Very close to native resolution. I can't tell the difference, so yeah, if you are a fan of high frame rates, even in single-player games, then the 5070 Ti is a great choice for 1440p gaming. That's what I think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're interested in any of the products featured in this video, check them out at the links in the description below. Don't forget to check out Amazon's Black Friday sale. That helps me out a lot, to make more videos like this. We're doing this independently, paying for graphics cards myself, and that really helps. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more if you haven't already. It was I, Vadim. Until next time.